Dynamic memory allocation. The concept of dynamic memory allocation in C language enables the C programmer to allocate the memory at runtime. So dynamic memory is managed and served with pointers that point to a newly allocated space of memory in an area which we call the heap. We call it as heap memory. Next, dynamic memory allocation in C language is possibly by 4 functions and which are supported by stdlib, that is standard library header file. The 4 important techniques which are used as part of dynamic memory allocation are malloc, memory allocation, malloc function, next calloc function, realloc function and free function. So coming to the malloc function, it allocates single block of requested memory. Calloc function allocates multiple block of requested memory. Realloc function reallocates the memory occupied by malloc or calloc functions. Next, free function. Free is the dynamically allocated memory. So depending upon whatever the memory which is allocated at runtime, so that memory is being released with the help of free function. Now let us see in detail about each and every function. The malloc function allocates a single block of requested memory. It does not initialize memory at execution time, so it has a garbage value initially. It returns null if memory is not sufficient. The syntax for malloc function is given below. The ptr equal to cast type. So we need to give the cast type star followed by malloc and byte size followed by semicolon. Calloc function. The calloc function allocates multiple blocks of requested memory. It initializes all bytes to zeros. It returns null if memory is not sufficient. The syntax of calloc function is given below. That is ptr is equal to cast type of star followed by calloc. That is, we need to specify the number of bytes you require, number comma byte size. That is the use of calloc. Next, realloc. Realloc function in C is been written with a name called realloc followed by the function name. If memory is not sufficient for malloc or calloc, you can reallocate the memory by using realloc function. So in short, it means it changes the memory size, whatever we have allocated using malloc or calloc functions. Now let us see the syntax of this. ptr is equal to realloc of the pointer followed by comma new size, what you want to allocate. Free. The memory occupied by malloc, calloc functions must be released by calling free function. Otherwise, it will consume memory until program exit. So the syntax for free function is free followed by the pointer name, what you want to allocate, what you want to free, whatever the memory which is allocated dynamically at runtime by malloc, calloc or realloc functions. So we need to write it as free followed by pointer name. Now let us understand the difference between static memory allocation and dynamic memory allocation. So coming into the static memory, memory is allocated at compile time. Coming to the dynamic memory allocation, memory is allocated at runtime. Coming to the static memory allocation, memory cannot be increased while executing the program. Whereas dynamic memory allocation, memory can be increased while executing the program. Coming to the static memory allocation, it is used in arrays. Coming to the dynamic memory allocation, it is used in linked list. So linked list you can see as part of data structures. So these are the differences between static memory and dynamic memory allocation.